Good morning, students. We are going to continue with our previous chapter that we were learning about, where we studied about how Magad got an expansion, or how the kingdom of Magad started, where from the earlier civilization, from the Aryans to the later Vedic period, and what were the important changes that took place from a tribe to Janas, then Mahajanapadas, then we have kingdoms that originated. In this, we studied about the kingdom of Magad, which initially was started or developed by Bimbisara, and how generous he was, how much his contribution was towards making different policies to develop his own territory, which expanded to a large extent. Later on, after his death, we had studied that it was Ajatasatru, his own son, who became the next ruler of the Magad dynasty, or the Magad kingdom. After which, there came the Nanda dynasty's rule. The Nanda dynasty, among the Nanda dynasty, the first who became the ruler was, his name was Mahapadmananda. He ruled Magad for a very long period of time, and later on he was overtaken by his own son named Dhanananda. Now Dhanananda, it was considered that he was a prominent or not so efficient ruler, who had been very cruel and injustice in regarding to various different activities that he did. It made him very unpopular and unfamiliar among his own citizens. Most of the citizens or the own nobles were against his policies and thoughts and things that he did. This gave him opportunity to Chandragupta Maurya during that time. And during this time it is stated that he took control over the Mauryan dynasty or the Magad kingdoms. Now here, between this, there was an important invasion that took place, which was done by Alexander and his army. Why so? Because it is stated that when Alexander had come to India, previously only he had a vision of conquering the whole world. He used to march from one part of the countries to the another kingdoms, one kingdom to the another kingdom, and have war with them. And in this process, he captured various different other kingdoms like Syria, Egypt, Mesopotamia, Minar in the Asian part of the continent. Persian empires or Persian kingdoms were also been captured by him. So various important kingdoms he had captured with his mighty army and very powerful. That means what? He was a very great ruler and a very powerful personality by himself. Okay, and the armed forces that he had was very powerful, with all important basic amenities and warfare things that were required during that time, importantly. But there is a important significant difference when he approached or when he came towards the Indian territory. What is that and how it was, we are going to learn now. Now, Alexander was known to be a person who was from Macedonia, which is a place in Greece. He belonged to a Macedonian state which is from Greece, and he has a remarkable history of conquering various different. As he grew up, from his childhood. He grew up as a warrior. He grew up as a very powerful person by himself, learning various concepts, philosophies, ideas of warfare, with the main objective of conquering the whole world. And in this process, as I told earlier, he had captured various different places in different times in different parts of the world. Now he came to India around 326 CE, and he invaded India. When he came to India and invaded India, he brought a divisional system where he divided various important places into various different states or parts of kingdoms. Even it was seen that various kings were so much afraid of him that without war only they submitted their kingdoms to Alexander without taking any kind of risks. One of the examples were about a king Ambi, who was the ruler of a place known as Ambi. What he did is that he himself submitted before Alexander. Okay, he himself had submitted before Alexander, who ruled a place known as Takshila. This was also an important town or city that existed in Magad during that time. or the Magadha territories during that time. Or one of the important cities that we studied, Awadh, then Taxila, Magad and all. So Taxila was also one of the important cities during that time, which was ruled by King Ambi. He was so much afraid that he himself submitted without any war to Alexander, his own kingdom. And on the other hand, he also agreed to help Alexander to fight against Porus. Now, who was Porus? A very interesting story about Porus, who was very much equally important, equally very brave soldier or a brave king who ruled, who belonged from a very lower background, who later on raised up to be a warrior and then started ruling the place nearby the valley of Jhelum and Chenab. There was a rivers that flowed, and between there was a valley or an area, and he was the ruler of that particular area. And King Ambi helped Alexander in defeating him. Now, in this process, as the armed forces were very large in number, Porus fought very bravely, but he was unable to take over or unable to defeat Alexander. So after him getting defeated, he was captivated or he was captured. And it is said that once he was brought before Alexander the Great, Alexander asked him, like, what do you wish? And how do you wish me to treat you or to do with you? A simple answer was given by Porus. It was stated that as one king does with the other king. That means what? He was captivated or he was in chains, but still he did not lower his prestige. He himself called, that time also he himself called himself as king. So he wanted Alexander, being a king, to treat him as a king. That impressed Alexander to a large extent. He was so much impressed by the answer and the boldness that he had, even being chained. Other kings were afraid of him, but he was quite bold to stand before him and say anything. So what he did is that Alexander was so much impressed that he returned back the kingdom of Porus to him. And after that, Alexander and Porus became a very good friends among themselves for a longer period of time. It is stated that later on, when he marched forward to attack various other important places, when he reached Magad, he himself avoided to attack Magad because Magad was a very powerful country having various large areas of coverage. And understanding this, that the rulers or the people in Magad were very powerful. And on the other hand, it was stated that Alexander's own soldiers and other people who were there, who had come with him for war, they started feeling homesick because from a long period of time they had left their own place and they were traveling, having war and capturing different places. So most of the soldiers or other people, important peoples, were feeling homesick and they were getting sick, physically sick. So they wanted to return back. So Alexander avoided attacking Magad, understanding the power of Magad during that time, which was very powerful. Okay, and then they returned back. Now, while returning back, it is said that when he was returning back to his own state or his own country, he was unable to reach his native place or his motherland. On the way only, when he reached to Babylon, at the age of 33, it is said that due to sickness, he died. He died due to an unwanted sickness that happened to him, and then he died. Now, even though it is said that he was very powerful, he had an ambition of conquering the world, which was not possible just because of one important king that existed in India. That was the kingdom of Magad, and it was ruled by, during that time, Chandragupta Maurya. He was a very powerful king, and he had a very large extent of territory and a large number of armies during that time. Now, even though it was seen that Alexander invasion was done and he captured various different places, but that also brought about various economical changes, or there was various important effects that were done because of the invasion of Alexander. Now, most importantly, Alexander adopted a route that started from Europe to India. Now, later on, that route became very important, which was a direct route that connected a link between India to Europe. And later on, though that link itself was used for trade, business, commerce purposes, for various business purposes or merchant people for trade purpose. So that became a trade route for people who were related to that. Other thing is that there were also certain important campaigns that were done by the dates by different times by Alexander. That dates were recorded, and those dates help the historians to trace back history exactly how it happened and when it happened. That gave them a chronicle, or that gave them a step by step, signifying the importance of different events that took place because of those invasions that took place in a particular time. On the other hand, there was also the exchange of culture, tradition between these two different cultures that came together. People started knowing, those people who came here, they started knowing the Indian cultures, and they adopted few of the important things from there. And Indians who had seen the cultural system of this European who had come to India, their practices, their traditions, it might be that they exchange words orally, and on that basis there was exchange of culture and tradition among the Indians and the Europeans. Now this gave rise to an important school of art, which is still popular in today's time in different way, which was known as the Gandhara School of Art. Gandhara School of Art, which was importantly significant during the time. People from various different communities and groups, they started coming up, exchanging cultural system, exchanging ideas. So this, all things that started getting exchanged between people from one community, one tradition, one customs to the another, brought about a lot of understanding as to what existed outside by the Indians, and the outsiders what existed in Indian system, to know better and to exchange and understand it. Now Alexander campaign shattered the powers of most of the small states. When he came to India, he divided, as I told you, he divided kingdoms into independent states differently. Now when it was divided and after he returned back and he died, it was an opportunity that was seen by Chandragupta Maurya, who was very powerful during the time. Finding that this large kingdom has divided into smaller states and independent states ruled by smaller kings, he started attacking those kingdoms and capturing and expanding his kingdom to a more larger ways. So that gave an opportunity for Chandragupta Maurya, because he had his own vision of unifying India into a single country, into one single state. That is, unification of India was the vision of Chandragupta Maurya, to bring them about under the control of the Mauryans. And under this vision, or with this vision, he started capturing those small independent states and getting them under his own control. So this is how the important state known as the Magad got its importance, significance, development were seen, and where Alexander's coming was also a very significant and important thing in the Indian history as well. Not only the history of the world, but to the cultural background, to the economical background, to the trade route or the business route that was adopted, the exchange of cultures were done. All this played a very important role and still has a significance in our present times also. So this is all about this chapter, talking about the development of this, and I'll be giving with the notes and other details in the next class. And I have already discussed with you about the syllabus that will be coming up into your upcoming half-yearly examination, where most probably we have completed from civics chapter number 1, that will be there, and from the history part, chapter number 1, chapter number 2, avoiding chapter number 2, then you have chapter number 3, 4, 5, 6, and chapter number 8. I've omitted at presently chapter number 7, except chapter number 7, all the other chapters will be there as a syllabus, including from civics chapter number 1, which is related to the rural local self-government. This is all for today. The notes of this chapter number 8 that we have completed just now will be given to you in the next class. Thank you very much and have a good day.